Hey guys, how's it going? It's Baggins here, and today we have some super exciting news on the channel. After what feels like an eternity of a wait, we have an update confirmed coming for the Culling. So for those of you who don't know, every month, or a month and a few days, Xaviant, or Xaviant, the developers of the Culling, they put out these things called Island Diaries, which give us a little sneak peek at what's coming into the future. And this one was actually in the very near future. And there's two really big, exciting announcements in this one. And you can probably guess what the second one is since it's literally the title of the video. But we'll go into the first one and then we'll talk about the second one and what that could mean for the game. So the first one is they've revealed the full set of the golden weapons and how they're going to work now. So the Island Diary states that match events that deliver rewards, such as Loot Pinata and Loot Express, now deliver crates containing golden weapons. Mid-match events deliver tier 3 golden weapons, late match events deliver tier 4 golden weapons. Now I don't know if this means that Loot Pinata and Loot Express, they get replaced with the golden weapons or they still drop in a normal airdrop. I guess we'll have to actually see that when the update lands. But it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I feel like a lot of the time you're not going to want to leave the culmination now when you know it's going to be rolling into mid-game or late game for fear of missing out on getting one of these airdrops. They do describe later on though, our goal is to make these events worth fighting for without guaranteeing a win to the player who emerges wielding the golden weapon. But it does say these weapons are generally comparable in stats to their non-golden counterparts, but they have a bonus twist. So it seems like a lot of the weapons are as strong as, you know, the normal weapon version of themselves, but they have like a bonus on top. So I don't know, that still seems pretty powerful. Of course, we've got the Bleeding Blade, the Nutcracker, the Vampire Bat, and the Infected Hatchet, which is now called the Vomit Hawk, which we've talked about in the past. But there's been another 3 revealed now as well. So we have the Triflector. It says this trident deals 2 additional points of damage to your opponent every time you are struck. So it reflects damage when you're hit, basically. To put it in layman's term, it's not a massive amount of damage reflected, but you know, if you're just getting jabbed, then that's almost half the damage returned. So not a bad bonus to add to a weapon that is already pretty powerful. Trident, you know, some may consider it, and even me in the past, one of the not so great tier 4 weapons. But you know, with this little bonus on it, and the fact that the Trident is already so powerful against body armor, and it jabs for quite a lot of damage. Just a nice little addition. I don't think it's terribly overpowered, but it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. Then we have the Axe Extinguisher. Now this does sound pretty powerful. So it's a fireman's axe, but while you have it equipped, you're immune to all wounds. Now that is powerful. That's very powerful. That means you can step on caltrops and not worry about anything. There's no bleed, no cripple. You get hit by a blade, no bleed. You get hit by an explosive, no cripple. Like, man, that's good. I don't know how it will interact with snares, if you'll just run through snares and they won't trigger, and punji sticks. I assume you'll still take the damage, but yeah, that's definitely one of the more powerful weapons right there. That's sounding pretty crazy. Assuming it has the normal stats of the fireman's axe as well, like, that's a good weapon right there. So yeah, I don't know, when they say balanced, we're gonna have to see if it truly is, but that's certainly an interesting one. They've revealed the name of the double jump knife. It's called the Dagger. It's a Bowie knife, and of course it allows you to double jump. The Infinity Pole is another new one that we haven't heard about yet. It's a Yari that returns to your hand each time it's thrown. There they have a little bit of story and a joke about how it happens, but this sounds like it's very good for Golden Arm. My only critique with this weapon, and you know, maybe some of these other weapons as well, is it's not guaranteed that you get it each game. I guess maybe there's a bit of RNG there, but in the past, the Culling has gone from having a lot of RNG in the game in terms of airdrops flying over the top and stuff to, like, you know, trying to remove as much RNG as possible to make the game more competitive. And now it seems like they're stepping back in that direction again. So if you're running Golden Arm in a game and you happen to get the Infinity Pole, well, I think your chances of winning just went up exponentially. So then the remaining ones, as we've talked about a few times in the past, we have the Nutcracker, which is a sledgehammer that you can charge up to deal 60 points of damage. And we have the Bleeding Blade, which I'm going to assume is a katana since the Dagger is the Bowie knife. So it's a katana with an infinite bleed. I mean, if it has the exact same stats as a katana, then man, that's powerful as well. So I think what we'll do for a little bit of fun right now, I'm going to go ahead and rate these from top to bottom, and then you guys can tell me how powerful you think they are as well. So I think number 1, the most powerful weapon is that Bleeding Blade. It's a katana with an infinite bleed. I mean, that's just insane. Then probably we have the Axe Extinguisher. It's still very, very good. Just because of that bonus alone. Just having that and running over Caltrops is going to be incredible. Then I'm going to go ahead and give a wildcard bet to the Vomihawk. It sounds pretty powerful, being able to apply sickness to somebody when you swing with the axe. When your character is affected with sickness, of course, you can't do anything while the animation is playing, so that leaves room for a lot of powerful attacks to come in there. We'll have to see how quickly the sickness applies. If it's like Punji Sticks, then you might have a chance to run away and hide behind a door or something while you are sick, but if it's instant, then yeah, that's pretty powerful. So I'm going to go in with number 3 on that one. In number 4, I'm going to put the Vampire Bat, just because the baseball bat itself is a very powerful weapon, and then if you add the fact that every time you hit somebody you get 2 HP, that sounds pretty powerful as well. So just take a powerful weapon and add a powerful effect to it, and yeah, that's not quite as good as the other 3 in my opinion, but still very, very good. After this point, it's kind of hard to rate depending on each one. The Doppeldagger could potentially be the number 1 weapon, I'm not entirely sure, but it's hard to imagine when double jumping is actually going to be very useful unless you can double jump and like hit somebody and they can't hit you because you're in the air. But because I can't imagine it's being super practical in a fight, I'm going to go ahead and rate that at number 5. At number 6, I'm going to rate the Infinity Pole. It easily moves up to being in the top 1, 2, or 3 when you have Golden Arm with you, but sometimes you don't have Golden Arm because you never know when you're going to get that weapon. And then it's not that great. I guess you could just run Golden Arm all the time if you're good with it and just use the usual airdrop. And sometimes you go off when you find this in the game as well, but sometimes that doesn't happen, and that's why I rate it at number 6. Number 7, it's going to be the Triflector. Not that it's particularly bad, but just to compare to some of the other weapons, reflecting 2 damage, I mean, it's cancelled out by the Vampire Bat, and the Baseball Bat, in my opinion, is one of the better tier 3 weapons, whereas the Trident is a worse tier 4 weapon. It still does more damage than the Baseball Bat, but if you rate it how you compare the Trident to the Katana, Sledgehammer, and Fireman's Axe versus the Baseball Bat compared to all the other tier 3 weapons, the Baseball Bat is just in a league of its own, only overtaken by the Bowie Knife. And I think having lifesteal is probably more important than reflecting damage, so that's why the Triflector is so low in the ratings. And then finally we have the Nutcracker, being what I would call the worst of these golden weapons. It just seems like it's going to be too difficult and too unreliable to get those 60 points of damage in because you have to charge it for so long. The situation where you don't get blocked seems like it's going to require snares if you're playing against a somewhat decent opponent. Otherwise, you know, if you got 2-3 seconds to see somebody charging a weapon, you're probably going to block that unless you've got incredibly slow reactions. So that's how I rate the golden weapons now that I see all of them in a row. I think I'll revisit this again in like 1 or 2 weeks once I've had a good chance to play with all the weapons, and we'll see if I'm right or wrong. But yeah, what do you guys think about these golden weapons, and how would you rate them? Do you think I'm wrong on any of them? Do you think the Doppeldagger is going to be insane and I got that wrong rating it so low? Yeah, let me know in the comments, guys. And finally, we have the second part of the update. Probably one of the most exciting parts, and as I've already said, something that you guys probably know if you've looked at the title of this video, the Culling is going to be leaving early access and going into full release. I've been playing this game since the end of March 2016, which is roughly around the same time the game came out. So yeah, it's been a good and long journey, a year and a half plus, but finally they're ready to move into full release on both Xbox and PC. On the note of Xbox and PC, the patch is going to be coming to both at the same time this Friday. And yeah, what does this mean for the game? Well, to my understanding, I think reviews get rewritten when a game leaves early access and goes into full release, but I might just be making this up. You guys can correct me on that if I'm wrong in the comments. But if that is the case, then, you know, the Culling has got a nice clean slate to prove itself again that it's a good game and get its players back. God, I do hope the players come back. They do mention a lot about bug fixes and stuff and some polish, so as well as achievements coming out. So yeah, a lot of little extra things on top of the golden weapons, and what we can hope is an immense amount of bug fixes for the immense amount of bugs that are in the game. Another pretty important thing that's mentioned early on in the Island Diary is that Xbox voice support is going to be coming to the game as well. So this is, of course, Xbox exclusive, but this is pretty exciting in itself. One thing that this means specifically for the channel is when I'm doing those shopkeeper videos, I'm going to be able to actually talk to you guys and you're going to be able to talk back. So that's going to be a fun little addition to those videos for sure. And I'm sure I'm probably going to have some interesting conversations with you guys via the proximity voice when I actually bump into you guys in game. One other cool thing to mention as well, before we end out this video, is that the Culling is going to be the first game of its type being a battle royale to go into full release. You guys have probably played or heard of PUBG, Fortnite, H1Z1, all those games. Well, they're all currently still in early access, so the Culling is going to be the first of its kind to be a full release battle royale game. So that's pretty cool. So kudos to the developers there for beating everybody else to that line. I really do enjoy this game. I always have. I get a bit frustrated sometimes, but yeah, this is very exciting news, guys. I hope you guys are excited too. I'll be leaving a link to this Island Diary in the description down below if you want to check it out for yourselves. But yeah, until Friday, I guess, guys, As always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure you go ahead and click that like button. If you want to see more of my culling content or any other of my YouTube content, make sure you go ahead and click subscribe. And until next time, guys, I've been Baggins, and I'll see you all in the next video.
2 to the 1 to the 1 to the 3. Always protect your ABC. They were doing something strange in the restroom stalls. I don't believe my eyeballs. 3 to the 1 to the 1 to the 3.
Airdrops are now available for delivery.
That player did not look clean. Your enemy